Ukraine is in worse shape than you think. Ukraine is in worse shape than portrayed in the media. No, these are not my words. These words are emerging from the USA. Surprised and curious to know more? Well, sit tight and don't go anywhere, because the next 3 minutes of this video will make you question everything that has been told to manipulate you and everything that is a lie or a half-truth.
To start with, take a look at this. These are the sorts of things that are being shown to us repeatedly over and over again. This can make you believe that Ukraine is winning the war. This can make you believe that Ukraine is beating the Russians. Posts like this show you that Russia is losing tanks, troops, artillery systems, planes, helicopters, drones, and so much more. On top of that, we are told that sanctions, brain drain, and other measures are sucking almost everything out of Russia, and sometimes it seems that Russia's end is near, very, very near. But is that the complete truth? What is happening on the other side? What is happening to Ukraine? A hard-hitting and fact-based analysis from this American woman, who has served for 10 years as a US diplomat, reveals some very uncomfortable truths that we probably don't want to hear. According to Surya, the international military and humanitarian assistance that Ukraine has received so far has not prevented a shocking level of destruction to Ukraine's cities, economy, and society, and Ukraine is in worse shape than portrayed in the media. Now, this can shock you, but Surya's article in Time magazine's website mentions that Ukraine's Ministry of Defense is not releasing combat casualty numbers to maintain morale, but experts believe it has lost at least 25,000 troops, up to 11,000 deaths and 18,000 wounded since the February 24 invasion. She adds, Russia now controls significantly more Ukrainian territory than before February 24. Putin's army holds Kherson, whatever is left of Mariupol, all the intervening territory, and now not only Luhansk and Donetsk, but the entire Donbas Oblast. For example, whereas Ukrainian authorities controlled approximately 60% of Luhansk before the recent Russian invasion, now Russian forces control over 80% of the region. They also have about 70% of Zaporozhye region. The award-winning US international energy legal and policy expert mentions that without military aid, Kyiv may well have fallen by now, but Ukrainians are quietly admitting that they lack the capacity to fully utilize the weapons donated to them, as it requires proper training to be able to use them. On the other hand, for Ukraine, having foreign volunteer fighters would seem like a decisive boon, but in fact, almost none of them had any military experience or training. Point 2. Economy related. Now, this point is very hard-hitting. Please pay attention. If sanctions on Russia are expected to cause a less than 7% contraction in GDP, then Ukraine is facing a 45 to 50% GDP collapse. In Ukraine, 25% of businesses are closed. Black Sea blockade of Ukraine's ports is preventing import of fuels and the export of grain and other Ukrainian products. The inability to export is costing Ukraine's economy $170 million per day. Not only that, Russia is destroying or targeting Ukraine's fuel storages, grain silos, and agricultural equipment warehouses, and the country's electricity system is close to collapse as Ukrainians are not paying or cannot pay their electricity bills. Not only that, Surya Jayanti reminds us that most of Ukraine's coal mines are in the Donbas, where Russia's offensive continues. Yes, Ukraine is losing its resources. This is an ugly and painful fact. Point 3. Brain drain and jobs. Ukraine has been facing brain drain for many years, and this ongoing situation has made things many times worse. Millions of Ukrainians have left Ukraine, and the author predicts that many of those families may never come back to Ukraine again. And if that were not enough already, in Ukraine, 4.8 million jobs have been lost to war already. So, does it mean that Russia is winning? Probably between these two, there are no clear winners. Well, it seems clear that both sides are tolerating pain, a lot of pain. Perhaps in the end, a lot will be decided by who eventually has the capacity to tolerate more pain. Who do you think has that capacity? Russia or Ukraine? As a responsible global community, we should do everything to support the innocent victims of this war and urge all parties to find a non-violent solution to end this. See you again